beautiful. I guess we're the... Yes, yes we are. So, thought so. Hello, window.
Okay, so you come back over here.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Barry. Our driver's name is Kevin, and we welcome you here to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A little bit about the tour we're going to take you on. These are called ground tours. We're going to take you one lap around the track over the start-finish line. We're going to let you out, spend some time on the track, and then we'll take you in through some of the buildings, which is normally off limits for the general public. A little bit about the track. The track is 2.5 miles around. We're at the south end of the track. Turn number 1 is up in front of us. Turn number 2 is behind us. And we're going to enter the track over here to the left, what they call the short chute, in between turns 1 and 2. Kevin's going to play a tape that's narrated by Donald Davidson. He's the track historian here. And the points of interest that Donald talks about, Kevin will be there. So sit back. We'll be over the main straightaway here just shortly.
And here to give those famous words is the chairman of the board of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Mrs. Mary Holman George.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
There's the command, Mary Holman George, and the engines roar tonight.
Welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We hope you'll enjoy your ride around the track. And for the consideration of all of our guests during the next 10 minutes or so, may we please ask you to place your cell phones on silent. Thank you. The 500 was held for the first time in 1911, but the track was already in its 3rd year, built early in 1909 as a testing facility for the thriving automobile industry. Many famous makes were from here, like Marmon, National, and Cole, with the best known ones coming a little later on with Stubbs, maker of the famous Bearcat, then, right after World War I, with the Duesenberg brothers. Indiana roads were still a few years away from being paved, so there was nowhere to really find out what an automobile could do and what its weak points might be. This track would solve that problem. Not only could the manufacturers test here privately, but occasional races would give the spectators a chance to see in competition what they could go down to the showrooms and purchase. The man who created all of this was Carl Fisher, the very same man who would later develop Miami beachfront swamplands into an exotic resort area. He also developed Montauk Point on Long Island and spearheaded the first drivable highway across the United States. We entered the track between turns 1 and 2 of the South End Short Straightaway. Up ahead is turn 2. There are 4 turns, each measuring exactly 1/4 of a mile from entrance to exit, and they are banked at 9 degrees and 12 minutes. The main straightaway, which we will be seeing in about 5 minutes, and the backstretch, coming up in just a moment, each cover 5/8 of a mile, so that the entire track is 2.5 miles around. From time to time along the way, you'll see some of the portions of the road course built between 1999 and 2000. It winds through the infield and links back up with the oval over to the northwest. On the right are the original VIP suites built in 1973. We are riding on the very same 2.5 miles used by the drivers 100 years ago. Only the surface has changed. During the fall of 1909, down went 3,200,000 paving bricks, which is why the track still carries the nickname, the Brickyard. And where are the bricks today? Well, about 85% of the way around, they're still there, buried under several layers of asphalt. The most recent repaving job took place in the fall of 2004. If you think you may have spotted a golf course on either side of us, well, you have. It dates back to 1929. It's been revamped a couple of times since, most recently in 1993 by the world-famous Pete Dye, who used to live in Indianapolis. There are now 4 holes inside the track and 14 over on the right. The old course was once a major stop on the PGA Tour, the 500 Open being held between 1960 and 68. Each September between 1994 and 2000, the seniors played here. The 3-2-1 markers over on the outside fence are 100-yard reference points for entering turn 3. The 500 drivers will make the turn at about 220 miles an hour. The NASCAR drivers with cars which are double the weight will go through at about 170 miles an hour. The fastest laps ever completed here by 500 drivers have been right at 240 miles an hour. That means negotiating a 2.5-mile lap in less than 38 seconds. Or to put it another way, it's the equivalent of traveling down a football field in about 9/10 of 1 second. When we are in the turns, you can see the famed safer barriers up against the walls. They have done much to absorb the energy in the event of an accident resulting in wall contact. Safer barriers are coming into more and more use at major tracks, but the very first one was installed at this one in 2002. Carl Fisher had 3 partners, one of whom was James Allison, founder of the famed Allison Engineering. They sold the Speedway in 1927 to a group headed up by World War I flying ace, Captain Eddie Rickenbacker, who had in fact been a regular 500 driver before he ever learned how to fly a plane. In 1945, the track was sold to Anton Holman Jr. of Terre Haute, and it has remained in the Holman George family for over 60 years. Over on the left are the final turns of the road course on their way to linking up again with the oval. Out of turn 4 and onto the main straightaway, corporate suites and double-decker grandstands. And can you imagine going all the way down there in 9 seconds? Drivers making pit stops used to drive all the way down the straight and pull over to their respective pit. In 1957, a separated pit lane was installed, and it may have been the first of its kind anywhere in the world. The current 500 cars have to stop several times during the race. They'll take on fuel and change 4 wheels in less than 10 seconds, and they don't use gasoline. From 1965 until 2006, everyone used methanol. Starting in 2007, the 500 cars have run on ethanol. NASCAR, however, does use gasoline, but blended with 15% ethanol. The tall building on the left is called the Pagoda. It was completed in 2000. This is where the Master Control Tower stood from 1957 until 1998. And prior to 57, a Japanese-style pagoda occupied this spot, and that's the reason for this current design. This one, however, has 10 floors and rises to the equivalent of a 13-story building. At ground level, and slightly over to the left, is the current winner's circle for the 500 and the Brickyard 400, and just above it, the rostrum for the top 3 finishes in the MotoGP motorcycle race. The start-finish line isn't hard to locate. It's marked by a strip of bricks. As late as 1961, when A.J. Foyt won his first 500, the greater part of the main straight was still of bricks and mortar. And imagine that prior to the late 1930s, the entire 2.5 miles looked like that, and it made for a pretty rough ride.
Well, before we go on to the track, I wanted to tell you about a couple traditions. The track is rich in traditions. Back in 1936, a fellow by the name of Louis Meyer became the track's first 3-time winner. Leaving home that morning, coming to the track, Louis brought with him a bottle of buttermilk to quench himself after the race. By winning, he pulled into Victory Lane, which used to be located down here in turn 1. Someone handed him the bottle of milk. He took a swig of milk, held up to number 3. the American Dairy Association sort of picked up on that. So except for a few occasions since 1936, the winner has always participated in the drinking of the milk. 1996, a fellow in the NASCAR circuit by the name of Dale Jarrett won his first Brickyard 400. After winning, he, along with the car owner, chief mechanic, crew members, knelt on the bricks out here and kissed the bricks. That's where that started. Now your Indy drivers also do the same thing. We're going to give you an opportunity. If you want to come out here and kiss the bricks, that's fine. Make sure that you bring your cameras. Got any questions, feel free to ask. We'll try to give you some answers. So come on out. We'll spend a little time out here.
Sure.
Stuff is dead now.
Awesome.
All right. Actually, 1909. Yeah, again, as we said on the tape, it's about 85% still here. The asphalt, the ones above surface. Occasionally, they have to replace these. A couple of years ago,
Badass Corvette.
someone told me on the Speedway premise